Hello from everybody here at the Chaulk Team. It has been a little bit since we have been able to do a video update on what is transpiring in the COVID Calgary market for real estate. We hope that you're all enjoying what is currently a beautiful string of hot weather, that you're enjoying it safely with your families, keeping it cool. Now, the Calgary real estate market may not be hot. However, it is definitely not what we had anticipated back when COVID and the lockdown was really ramping up. We have seen stats from June actually be fairly positive in some regards. We saw a 6% increase in inventory, but that inventory level remained below last year's inventory. So we just have had a lot of people pent up demand because we missed our spring market, given that we were all in lockdown. So it's made for a busy spring summer market. We have seen transactions happening. A lot of them are quite strong in that under the 500 mark. There's still a prediction from the Calgary Real Estate Board that we're going to see a 3% loss over the remaining quarters total for Calgary. However, even our economist was slightly surprised at what has transpired so far in the strong sales demand and lower inventory. The other thing that I wanted to address, as maybe many of you have heard going around in the news, is CMHC had sent out a prediction that we could lose up to 18% in the market. Now, it's been very interesting, a lot of conversation happening amongst professionals, both in the real estate industry along with the mortgage industry, because CMHC is a government-run insurer for any mortgages that are not funded with 20% down. A lot of the mortgage brokers were speaking to our other insurer partners, for instance, Genworth, who really felt that we were not going to see delinquencies in mortgages and that kind of thing anywhere that was really proving that 18% was a risk. So for the time being, we are overall happy with our sales levels, happy with our inventory levels, and we have been seeing the market moving, which means showings that are happening a little bit more regularly, and sometimes many showings on a daily basis for products that are quite desirable in different communities. Now, what has changed with showings and listing your property? Obviously, we have seen, as we roll through different phases, that the government has instituted different protocols. Now we're into August 1st today, and we're all going to be wearing masks out in public spaces, and that also goes the same for condo buildings. If you were to look at a condo in a common area, you'd want to wear your mask. Now, showings is very much up to the seller and the buyer and what they feel comfortable with. Often we will go in wearing masks. Often, well, every time, we're disinfecting our hands upon entry. Back in the day, you used to have your buying agent turning on all the lights in the home. When you got into there, now the lights are on, closet doors are open, kitchen cupboards are open. So really you're able to look at the home and not have any touch surface points that we're really hitting. Quite regularly too, for my sellers, we have been saying, if there is something that needs to be open, that it's only the realtor that is touching the surface. That way we're just mitigating it, and us as realtors really have a strong responsibility for keeping everybody safe. So that's what's changed a little bit on listings and showings. We do have 2 documentation for signings, both for sellers and for buyers, that really share, look, I haven't been traveling internationally in the last 14 days. I have not been around anyone who has tested positive or has had COVID that I am aware of. And those really are answered at the time of the showing booking, and really up to the agents then to ensure that their clients are very aware and that they're answering the questions correctly. Now, what's so exciting about our lovely city and our province is that people are really taking this to heart, where we have seen our cases going up a little bit in the summer months, people are definitely still being cautious, still being responsible, so that if there was any concern there, they're not going through anyone's home and putting anyone at risk at all. So overall, you know, we feel at the Chaulk team that the market is still strong, and that's translated into, again, strong showings. We have really focused on presentation. So even if you're considering maybe selling 6 months to a year down the road, we really recommend bringing us in when you have some time, and we can really discuss what the plan would be to get your home all ready for showings. Because as we know now, where we are ordering everything online, we're shopping online, buyers are doing the exact same at this point in time. So we focus very much on the presentation so that when they're out clicking through the photos, it really gives them a pause to think, that one looks good. And then once they get in the home, when it's been prepped, freshened up with paint, everything's clean, shiny, sparkly, they get quite excited. And we have seen that translate into multiple offer scenarios still in this market, given the lower inventory. Now, the products that have special locations, for instance, a dock backing on a lake, a large yard, something that really sets the house apart a little bit in the community, has been another real touch point where we've seen quicker transactions. What's nice is typically now, when we were looking earlier this year, we were seeing longer days on the market, and we're starting to see that really shorten up. The prediction, like I said, is still that we will see some market loss, and what is really coming into play there, and now that they've pushed it out between the end of 2020 and blending into 2021, is job loss. We need to see the recovery of jobs. We need to see, obviously, COVID staying at a manageable rate where everyone's staying safe and we're bringing our curve down, flattening the curve. If that continues and we see job recovery, then we may not see the decreases that were quite steep. And some people were referring to, when we first got into COVID, to this time being more like the large crash in the 80s. We haven't seen anything to point to that at this point, which is quite reassuring. But the market always lags in real estate behind the job market. So we're going to really be keeping a close eye to see what the recovery on jobs is going to be. Now, you will also be able to check out in this newsletter the stats for June. We also have now the quarterly update for the second quarter that CREB has released. We're offering, if you just want to know where your home value is sitting, click the little red button down there, give us your name, your address, and we'll reach out to you. We can get either a quarterly market update that's just showing what's selling in your community, or we can come in and specifically give you a little bit of a better idea so that you can continue to plan. I myself have just recently sold our property, and we are currently looking, but given inventory levels are a little bit lower, it's definitely going to take a little more time than we are anticipating. The other thing to really consider is interest rates right now. We have seen very low interest rates, and it was interesting because in the beginning of this year, we really did see rates falling. Bank of Canada was dropping their rate, banks were towing the line. Once COVID hit, we started to see banks actually hedging their bets and raising the interest rates back up again without a prompt in the market, but they were trying to mitigate what we did not know could be a loss. Now we have seen that come down. There have been interest rates out there floating around that 1.99, 2.09 rate. So if you also are looking at maybe refinancing, maybe your mortgage is due in the next 6 months or year, we can get you in touch with professionals that can then look at that option, and maybe we can drop that payment a little bit as well. Overall, we feel that although we're not out of the woods yet, and we know that Alberta is going to face a bit of a bumpy ride still, the general market right now has been fairly positive. So if you have been considering a move or trying to weigh up what your options are, we're definitely here to help. We hope that you are all staying safe. We want to say thank you so much to all of our frontline workers taking care of us at the grocery store, taking care of us at the doctor's office. And if you have any questions and we can help in any way, please reach out. Thanks so much.